Welcome to Evolve, where we are embracing progression and expansion. Now, here's your host, Henry Harris. Well, I want to welcome everyone to Evolve. It's such an honor to be here with you tonight. I am so grateful for my next guest. I became familiarized with him through uh, Reverend Darrell Watkins of Sunshine Cathedral. I believe that's in Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
And I knew he was mutual friends with Joseph Long. I didn't really know who he was, but somebody either shared his video or something. But he specializes in meditation, which that takes a lot of work. For, like I told him, the consistency, and actually,
Yeah.
I've been following it. His meditations that he does, it almost takes you to a different place. Meditation does. It's a powerful thing. So we're here today with my special guest, Joseph Long. And Joseph, thank you so much for taking the time to be on Evolve.
My honor. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, thank you as well. Well, at the time of this taping, it is actually his birthday, which I'm sure is not going to be when it airs. It may not be his birthday. So if y'all hear me tell him now, happy birthday, Joseph. I'm saying that now, currently, not probably not when it goes live. So that way, all the comments, happy birthday, Joseph. It may not even be on that day.
Thank
Surely
you.
this is going to air way before a year from now. But I want to wish you happy birthday and hope you have an amazing day today after we do our interview here. So today we're going to be talking about how meditation saved my life. I actually love that topic you sent to me. I believe meditation is a beautiful thing. Meditation offers a multitude, but how can meditation save your life? Is that even possible? So I'm honored to have you here today to talk about it. So before we get started, Joseph, can you get to you just a little bit about yourself?
Well, as I told you before we started, today, well, May 24th is the birthday. I turned 52. So,
Yeah.
what can I share with y'all in a brief moment? So, I come from a family where I am in the middle of two other boys. So my parents had three sons. Um,
Hmm.
I got real close with my mom. I got real close with her. The on in addition, let me start with my occupation. I manage disability claims, FMLA. In addition to that, I also am a thespian, so I act, sing, and stage manage. So that takes
Hmm.
up a lot of my time between the day job and the theater work, which usually falls in the evening times. Um, Purple is my favorite color. Um, I,
Yeah.
I don't consider myself religious, but I do consider myself a person who strives to be more spiritual. And that will lead
Yeah.
into our discussion today.
Yeah. What is your definition of between religious and spiritual? How would you define it?
Oh, you would ask me that. So to me, my definition of religious is more man-made. It's dogmas and traditions that you have to
Yeah.
follow. While spirituality, in my opinion, is more individually based. So it's your personal relationship with God, higher self, universe, whatever you call it. It's more a personal, a more
Yeah.
individualized undertaking.
Yeah. There's been a lot of um things going around like somebody posted something the other day talking about I'm a little leery of people who say they're spiritual and not religious. And I was like, that's weird. So when you said that, hopefully that person is watching. You gave a very great, you gave a very great definition of what it is, because religiosity tells you what to think and what you can do, what you can't do, excludes certain people. God only loves a certain amount of people. Don't love these type of people, and it's all about exclusion. And I'm not down for that. Religion is all about who's in, who's out, who's going to heaven, who's going at this place or that. It's like so. But I love spirituality because you connected spirituality to more being personalized, and I think that's where I'm at too on my spiritual journey. So with that being said,
Now hear it before you move on. I do want to add for the folks that's watching is that I do love church though. So I don't want folks to get it twisted. I love church. As we stated before we started the recording, you heard of me through my pastor, um, Bishop Darrell Watkins. Um,
yeah.
I've always been involved in the church and highly active in the church. So, at Sunshine Cathedral, I sing in their choir and I'm elected. So I read the scripture. So and for me, church is important as well because for me, it's a sense of community is important.
Hmm.
But that's where it gets tricky, finding that community that's right for you.
Hmm.
But that's how I would differentiate between religion and spirituality.
Yeah, that is so true. And thank you so much for sharing that. So my next question is, what is meditation to you, like personally?
I'm gonna try not to get into the textbook definition, but meditation, how I school or coach my followers that watches my live meditation live stream is meditation is almost like a it's almost like praying. However,
Hmm.
meditation is similar to with that spirituality thing we're talking about because it's individual, it's personal. And what meditation does, a lot of people think when you go into meditation, it's about quieting the thoughts. I
Hmm.
believe the exact opposite. I believe meditation brings you in tune with your thoughts and your emotions. So, yes, say you're going through a challenging moment and you're very stressed out and you're dealing with a lot of negative emotions and thoughts. Meditation is going to bring you right into those challenging thoughts and emotions and put you face to face with that. Because I'm gonna be bold enough and say most of us meditators believe that in order for us to um, deal with or heal, let me say that word, heal from um, negative emotions or thoughts, we have to go face to face with that. And meditation helps you with that. Meditation also helps you remain centered and grounded.
Hmm.
It keeps you calm. And I'm gonna touch on this later too, I'm sure. One thing I also tell people, my mom dealt with dementia and panic attacks. And meditation could be as simple as just bringing awareness to your breathing. And a lot of times she got herself out of those panic attacks simply by doing deep inhalations and exhalations. So again, meditation to me is be getting more in tune with self.
Oh, that's awesome. So, when did you first become exposed to meditation?
Okay, so I would say exposed the church I went to prior to Sunshine Cathedral, they will have a moment at the beginning of the service where they call it meditation. And I don't want to talk about how people meditate, but it was
Yeah,
basically you just got they just asked you to go into a moment of silence.
yeah.
And it's like, okay, what do you do? in the silence. And that's why you've seen some of my videos. I do a
Mm-hmm.
lot of guided meditations for those of you for people who want to know, what do I do? Okay, I'm quiet. I'm turn off the noise, the music. What do I do now? And that's where leading back to your previous question, meditation is also more than just being quiet. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's when I started getting exposed to it. Now the other part of it, when I started getting active into it, participating and guiding it, was May 1st, 2020. This is going back to the story with my mom. So I was the sole caregiver of my mom. She was diagnosed with dementia and paranoia. So
Mm-hmm.
her final year, both her physical and mental health was deteriorating like crazy. And it started with her refusing to take her meds and eating. And at that point, things started becoming overwhelming for me. And I was like, I don't know if I could continue with this, but I need to continue with this, because if I don't, who's going to take care of mom? And it was like, I don't know what to do. And it was like an inner voice told me right then, meditate. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, again, Henry, prior to this moment, meditation to me was just being quiet. So I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was weird because it was like, go live on Facebook. At that time, I was doing the meditations on Facebook and just do a meditation live. And I'm like, okay, I was desperate. So I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I kind of self-taught myself. I would go online and research what meditation is, different techniques of meditation. And I was doing the different techniques of meditation, and it was wild to me. This again, mind you, this is during COVID. So most of us
Mm-hmm.
were in quarantine. So unbeknownst to me, people was flocking on my channel during that time. At that time, I realized a lot of people was hungry for answers. A lot of people was afraid and all of that. So my channel at that time provided some type of relief and calm. So that's when I started, May 1st, 2020. And my mom's condition or deterioration brought me to start being more active into meditating.
When I think of meditation, some people, uh, I've heard some people say that they meditate in a variety of ways. Is that an accurate assessment? Are there different forms of meditation, or is there just one way?
No, and I'm glad you asked that question, because I know I'm going to probably sound contradictory with this comment I'm about to make. But there, in my opinion, is really no, well, let me not say there's no wrong way. Well, there really is no right or wrong way. But to answer your question, there are different modes of meditation. You have,
Yeah.
and what I specialize in is guided meditation. And then you can have they have standing meditations, sitting meditations, um, what other ones they have? Grounding meditations,
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness. It's different forms of meditation. And that's where it gets tricky, because people say meditation isn't for me, but that maybe you haven't found the meditation technique that resonates with you. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people, I understand, guided meditations does not work for them. You have people who what does work for them is just going into the silence and being in tuned at their own pace, own rate, how they want to do it. And that's fine too. But that is accurate. There is a plethora of forms of meditation. And
Um.
I try to tap into those different forms in my channel, and as I tell them, not all of these are going to resonate with you, and some don't, some do, but I do try to touch on the different forms so people could take something practical with them on their own business because I can't be with you in your life every day, all day. So find
Yeah.
something that resonates with you and use that.
Yeah. How did meditation personally save your life?
That goes back to my mom's story. So, anybody that's been a caregiver knows that when you care for someone, you have to be very careful with your own mental and physical health. In my
Mhm.
mom's case, her dealing with a mental disorder, I found myself going into that rat hole. Um, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and I believe dealing with that for years. As I tell people, energy is involved in everything, and that's why it's important who you bring into your immediate circles, what thoughts, what emotions you entertain, because you take that into yourself and your life. So, to answer your question, meditation, even to this day, meditation is what actually keeps me calm. So I still deal with some anxiety issues, and meditation keeps it. And I didn't even, I gave you that title, but I never thought about that until one day. I was stage managing the show. Actually, the show was over, the audience was leaving, and this Jewish woman came up to me. I didn't know she was watching my meditations. Like I didn't know you was watching my meditations. And she says, "I've been watching your meditations, and those meditations kept you alive." And at first, I kind of was offended by that statement, but then I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? She's absolutely correct because during those dark moments, when those moments when I was having anxiety issues, it was because of the fact that I was doing meditations every morning, that I was able to keep myself centered, keep myself sane. Again,
Mhm.
meditations get you in tuned with what's going on in your subconscious. So things might have been unraveling in the physical realm in my life, and I'm like, why is this happening? Why these type of people are I'm attracting these type of people? Why I'm not getting what I think I deserve? And meditations help you tap into that. A lot of times, especially in that silence, that's why the silence is important. That's when the answers are going to be revealed to you.
Yeah, that thank you for answering that question. I got a couple more questions. I could never understand why a lot of people in some religious spaces are so anti-meditation. Um,
Mm.
my question is, why do you think some within religious circles are opposed? Some of them are opposed to meditation. Some Christians believe meditation is dangerous or it's leading you off to a slippery slope. While there are some that believe meditation is restricted only to prayer and meditating on the Bible. Is all meditation good?
Um, that's a good question, a tricky question. I'm going to say, in my opinion, I don't know any bad meditations. Just like I tell
Me
people, that's
neither.
real. Like I tell people when it comes to our emotions and our thoughts, when you really get into this, you realize there's really no bad or good thoughts or emotions. They
Hmm.
all help contribute towards your growth. So, for example, if you are stressing or worrying about something, that's an indicator that you're not in alignment. And that is
Hmm.
your mind and your body telling you you have to do something. So that going back to your question, I don't know any bad meditations. Now why? And I'm gonna make an assumption. Because I have realized that in my earlier years in doing meditation, that it seemed like church folk or Christian folk. Not all, but there's a group, a
Yeah.
sect of Christians that shy away from meditations. And I'm gonna be blunt enough and say it's I think one reason is ignorance, not knowing what
Mm-hmm.
meditations are. Again, there are several forms of meditation. I'm glad you mentioned this because one form is you have Christian meditations that's strictly
Mm-hmm.
about God. But I think the problem is when you go out and you listen to most popular meditations, you don't talk about God. And I'm gonna be honest with
Mm-hmm.
you. When I first started in 2020 and 2021, my meditations were religiously based. And it was that way because my followers were mostly Christian. I needed that. Again, I started meditations on May 1st, 2020 for me, for Joseph. And I just went
Mm-hmm.
online listening to this inner voice, and then I acquired a following from there. And because of that, I have people from all over, not just the United States, that follow me. I have people of different faiths. I have atheists that follow me. So now I kind of changed my format where I don't, you may hear me interchangeably mention God. You may hear me say universe. You may hear me say higher power. You might hear me say higher self, or I might not even talk about none of that. I may focus on breathing. I might focus on a specific topic such as financial or grieving. So I think that might be the issue. Ignorance for one, and two, because the lack of hearing the word God. And me again, I am a metaphysical Christian, and I believe God could be seen and present in anything. I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
say God for God's presence to be there. I could talk about my dog. God is in my dog. God is in this lamp here. God is present everything. So everything I talk about, I'm talking about God or a higher power.
Mm-hmm.
But that takes a different mindset, a different teaching, or whatever. But that's why, in my opinion, I think a lot of Christians have an issue with meditation. And also, again, going back to the previous church, not knowing how to meditate. They might be one of the ones that was told, just turn everything off, be quiet, block out all your thoughts, and they probably thought that was meditation.
Why, that's a great answer. Where does meditation, where does it take you spiritually?
Mm, you're giving me some good questions. Where does it take me spiritually? So again, when I gave my definition of what spirituality is to me, I mentioned it is an individual, a personal thing, and that's what meditation does for me. Um, it takes me in. It makes me really see if I really dig deep into it. It really reveals to me who and what Joseph is, and it takes me beyond the black person, the man, the physical, all of that. Um, and it reveals just how powerful I am. It reveals everything that I want, I already have inside of me. And that's where the spirituality part comes. Because anyone who practices or want to thrive to be more spiritual, that's what they work on. They work on their constant evolvement. And I'm glad your podcast is called Evolve because that is my personal mission to constantly be
Mm-hmm.
progressing. So yesterday I achieved my goal for this year. I don't stop there. There's always room for growth. There's always room for evolvement.
Yeah, there is. And my last question is, um, someone may be watching, they may have never did meditation before. And as I said earlier, I think there's multiple um, benefits to meditation. So somebody that's watching, they're like, I have an interest in this, but what's the process? Where do I start? That's my last question. What would you recommend them to do if someone that's never done it before, but they have an interest in doing it?
I would suggest they do what I did over 5 years ago. The one thing about this day and age, we are so blessed. Anything we want to know, we can obtain it. It's the resources are at our fingertips, literally. I would say go online and Google it. Maybe they are interested in meditation because they're going through a specific thing. So yes,
Hmm.
say they are always broke and they tired of being broke and they barely making it from paycheck to paycheck. I would start off by looking at financial meditations or meditations on abundance. And then a plethora again of techniques will be open to them. I will tell them also to be kind and patient with themselves because it's again we talked about so many resources, there's so many ways of doing so. I could use one technique and another meditator could do a meditation a whole different way. So I would say be patient and till you find one that resonates with you. And again, there's guided meditations that there's so they may want to even start with also going to the different forms. Look at what forms of meditations are out there.
Man, I really appreciate you. This has been a very powerful broadcast tonight. Before we get into tonight's questions, I answered the audience three questions. Before we do that, I want you to let people know how they can follow you and your YouTube channel, and as it relates to meditation, how can our audience connect with you?
Okay, so under my name, um, on my what you call this, the frame profile right now,
Yeah,
it has inspirational moments with Joseph Long. That
yeah.
is my YouTube name. So if they type that they will go into my page. um I also do so Monday through Fridays. I do live guided meditations on my YouTube and Instagram simultaneously. So if you not a YouTuber but you prefer Instagram, you can find me on Instagram at Slim Brother 73, and that's SLIMBROTHA 73.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're going to get into tonight's questions and make sure you connect with Joseph uh, with his meditations. Like I said, I watch him from time to time, and there are really some guided meditations, some great meditations. But the questions I have for us tonight is what is meditation to you, to those that are watching? Put your answers down at the bottom of the screen. Number two, in what ways have meditation saved your life? Joseph was very clear on how it saved his. Uh, that was a very powerful story, by the way. And number three, how important is meditation to you? Those are the three questions that we have for you tonight. And lastly, I want to encourage everyone to like, subscribe, and follow us. YouTube.com Henry Harris 100. Follow us on Facebook on Soul TV. Also, we're on Facebook, The Brother Henry, and you show for more shows and more material. Uh, Joseph, I'm glad that we met virtually. If I'm ever in the Florida area, you got to take me
Yes.
to a restaurant. Take me to a nice restaurant or something down. I've actually never been to Florida. I've been to other places, but
Oh,
friends I got a few friends that live up that way, so I got quite a few people to see if I ever, which I'm pretty sure I will, come down to Florida. I would love to meet you and Darrell and
Yes,
um,
yes. Yeah,
career.
please let me know. Yeah, please let me know. And with Sunshine Cathedral, like I told you, community is important. So if I can't find anything, I'm sure one of the brothers or sisters could help me out with that. But I'm
Yeah,
honored. Thank you for this invite. I really appreciate this.